You are an environmental consultant. What's that?
Well, I actually was an environmental consultant and I gave up my job just before the World Championships. So I was able to train full-time for the World Championships this summer. But for the last 2 years, I worked alongside riding a bike, and I would go to places that potential big warehouse that are 24/7 operational, and you have to look at that impact on the surrounding area and how you can limit that impact on the surrounding area, what things you can put in place, and that was my job, to survey that and look at that.
So how did you get into that then? What's the background that led you to that?
So I went to university, I did a geography degree, then I did environmental science masters alongside cycling. So that was how my cycling actually really came about and really progressed, was through university, through doing book sport. And then at the end of university, I actually won my first national medals, which was pretty amazing for me at the time, because I still felt like just a university student that was just cycling and really competing. And then off the back of that, I joined Who What Bike, which was a great place to be. Lived in the house in Derby while I finished off my masters. And then after Who What Bike, COVID hit, the team stopped. I was a bit like, well, I've got no job, I've not got a team, but I still wanted to cycle. So I managed to get a job part-time as environmental consultant to do with my masters, which was quite nice. Cycled alongside that and had the goal of actually going to the Commonwealth Games in 2 years' time, which was quite ambitious at the time. But it was something I thought, well, I've come this far, you never know. 2 years later, I went to the Commonwealth Games, I went to the World Championships, and now I'm here, so it's quite a nice story.
So environmental science, does that come from an interest in the science of it or a passion for the environment?
A bit of both, really. I do find it very interesting, so some of my dissertations were on air pollution and one was on noise pollution, and just looking at the impact of different things, like maybe the traffic levels, that type of thing. That did interest me. And then of course I think most people of my generation have a bit of a conscience about the environment, because we know, we've learned the effects that people and the world is having on the environment, and I guess, yeah, the wanting to improve that and be more sustainable in the future was another reason.
Are you environmentally conscious when it comes to your own life and your own decisions with lifestyle or travel? Or
I am, but it is difficult when you're a cyclist and you're flying off to all these events to say, yes, I'm really conscious about the environment, but yes, I am flying off to these events. But of course, I try and do certain things, like trying to reuse things, not trying to buy things just for the sake of it. Of course, recycle and sustainable transport. So you ride your bike to places, you walk to places, you don't just hop in a car. So I guess, yes, I do, but it is, I do understand it's quite hypocritical when I'm trying to be a professional cyclist and that also involves a lot of air travel.
so if track cycling as a sport were like a warehouse that you used to go into and measure the environmental impact of, how sustainable or otherwise is track cycling?
Probably not very, is the short answer, with how much energy it costs to heat these venues, to fly all the different cyclists in from all over the world and all over Europe. But on the other hand, you could say it's promoting cycling as a sport, and if it means people get on their bikes and start using it as a sustainable form of transport, it is a positive thing. But in the short term at the moment, yeah, I would say it's not the most sustainable.
So if you're going in with your clipboard, I don't know if you ever used one, but you were making little
yeah,
recommendations.
I had a clipboard, I would have my hard hat and my high vis, of course, yeah.
Right, so you're in your hard hat and you've got your clipboard here. What recommendations would you make to track cycling, or indeed to anybody involved in it on an individual level even?
So there are 72 athletes competing. If each individual athlete just did a small thing, it would make a big difference. It'd be more sustainable, obviously, getting the bus across like a lot of the athletes have done from Paris, opposed to everyone jumping on a plane. Yeah, there are little things that you can do.